anyone that has a TC and has removed their bumper at least once, or even some people that haven't even removed their bumpers, will experience at some point probably bumper gap. So as you can see here, my bumper sags, and on top of that, it actually physically pops out all the time. So no matter what I do, I push it in, it pops back out. This little plastic clip here on the bumper is soft and it flexes down and it pops out. It's just, the design is bad. So the fix for this is to actually install a Quik-Latch. So I'm going to be installing it right about here. I won't know really exactly where it's going to be until I take the bumper off, but the part number that I got here is QL-25-S10, and this is the 1-inch one. They make them in 22 millimeters, 1 inch, inch and a quarter, and an inch and a half. I figured the 1 inch will work the best on here though, because I don't really want to have it be a huge thing that sticks out. I just wanted to make the bumper stop doing this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to take the bumper off and then install it. First thing we want to remove is the plastic piece here. You're going to have these trim clips. There's 6 of them. There's 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can tell I've already removed them. And then you're going to have this one here and here, which I've also removed. Removal of them is easy. For these, you just have to push the button in the middle and then lift it up and out. So I'm just going to stick that with the rest. And then this one here, just take a flathead screwdriver, stick it in underneath it here, give it a gentle twist until it pops up, and take it out. Alright. And then remove this piece. Alright, get underneath the car next with your 10mm socket and start removing this bolt here. And then if you get underneath the car, there's a bolt here. And then if you trace along the front, the back edge of the bumper, you'll find another 5 of these. So there'll be a total of 8 that you're going to remove, and they're going to look like this when you get them out. So I'm going to do that now. Next, remove this bolt here, also a 10mm. So here's the bolt that I removed. As you can see, it's narrower and longer than the ones we removed from underneath the car, so this way you don't get it mixed up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this somewhere safe. And now I'm going to show you how to get this little piece out here without breaking it. I found that basically you take a screwdriver and you make it horizontal instead of vertical. And then if you pull this out a little bit this way and then away, straight back from the car, you can reach your hand underneath and push this out from the back. That way you don't risk breaking it. And once you do that, it should just come out. It's a little difficult sometimes. It's my least favorite tab on here to get. There we are. So it's going to come out. And that's what it looks like. So once you get that out, you can then, this piece of plastic here, pull it back, and this comes off. Great, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Now all we need to do is remove this bolt and this bolt. You can leave this clip alone and pop this clip. So actually I found my panel popping tool. I like using this much better than a screwdriver because it is less likely to scratch things up. So I'm going to pop that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove these 2 10mm bolts. If you have a tow hook or a license plate reading bracket, take them off. You can leave the mount here and here though, because the bumper is going to come straight forward and off. All right, so let me go ahead and take these out, and then we'll pop the bumper off. Great. So now we can just pull this, and you can see the bumper's already starting to pull forward. You're going to need to disconnect the daytime running light harness here. You just push this button, this tab up, and then pull straight out. And then if you have fog lights, you're going to lift the tab back and then pull it straight down and off. So but now the bumper is free. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off on the other side and put this thing on the ground. And here it is with the bumper removed. So, actually, no, let me show you this really quickly. I'm sure you've seen some of my photos or videos where I have that light strip that goes underneath the bumper between the splitter. that's actually tapped in using a fog light extension for the H11 fog light. So basically this wire goes to the lighting, and then this goes to the fog light, and then this goes to the harness. This way you can light up the accessories without actually cutting into the factory harnesses. Alright, so now let's talk about installing the Quik-Latches. So I'm gonna actually see if I can remove this bolt here and install it in here. Right, so we are gonna go ahead and use this for the mounting location. This bolt though is being used to hold the headlight in down here. We're still gonna use it, and I'll show you how. And it's not gonna affect how the headlight mounts. You'll also be able to have the headlight secured to the fender right here. Go ahead and use an extension and a 10mm socket and unbolt this here. And then remove this 10mm bolt here, and then this one down here. Once you get them off, you can basically lift this tab up a little bit and pull forward and do the same thing here. And then the headlight will pop right out. So I've taken out the passenger side already. Once you pull the headlight out, you'll have enough slack to get all the bulbs and harnesses off. If you have plasti dip on your on the top of your headlights here, though, be careful. I actually kind of scratched mine off here. I think I'm actually going to finally remove these and purchase the Nia eyelids, though. But anyway, I digress. All right, so here is where the bolt mounts into. Take the bolt that you removed, put it back in, and then what you want to do is you want to tilt it backwards this way and lift up at the same time, and then you can pop this out. So what's going to happen now is we're going to mount the Quik-Latch on here still. So it's actually going to go around on the back side, and then we're going to use a washer and a nut on the back side to keep this in place. So trying to install this piece here with the headlight in and then get the washer and nut on the back side is going to be a huge pain. So the trick is go ahead and install it first, and then leave the washer and nut loose like here. That way, when you slide the headlight on, it'll slip in behind here. Then you can start worrying about tightening or loosening that nut. Okay, so we're gonna slip the headlight on so that the washer and the nut are gonna go behind. There we go. And now I'm gonna take a 7/16" deep socket, and I'm just gonna hold the nut on the back in place, and then just use it to tighten just the front one. So what you'll want to do is basically hold the nut and back in place, and then basically rotate this counterclockwise to bring it out more, and clockwise to push it in more until you're at the right spot. So for now, I'm gonna basically, I want to get it so that it's gonna touch the bumper as much as I think it will. So I'm gonna try to set it about here so that the threads kind of end lined up with the edge of the plastic here. So now I'm gonna go in and hand tighten it there. See, the nice and stable, and the headlight is now attached to the fender. Alright, so I slipped the bumper back on, and I'm gonna make sure it's in place and hold it up where I need it to be, and then I'm just gonna hang it, and you can see it's now making a indentation, and the paint's cracking right there. That's exactly where we're gonna drill. So go ahead, pop the bumper back off, and now for the scary part, we're gonna drill that hole. Okay, so you can see the indentation and the cracking here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this punch tool and go right in the center there and just do that to give it a good indentation, so that way the drill bit doesn't walk. And I'm just going to start off with a 1/8 inch drill bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just go straight in. Still got a little bit of walking, but it's okay. Alright. Just make sure I wasn't quite straight when I went in. I was a little bit more at this angle, so make sure you're going straight. It's a little hard from where I'm standing to see that, but yeah. Great, now we're going to go ahead and pop this back on the car, make sure that this pin's going to line up, that I can see it on the back side, and then I'm going to increase the hole to 1/4 inch. It's hard to see from here for the camera, but when I hold this in place and push in, I can clearly see the pins centered in that small hole. So now I'm gonna pull the bumper off, enlarge that hole, and I'm just gonna keep enlarging it until I'm certain that every time I put this bumper back on that it is still centered, and then we'll bring it up to the proper size using a step-up drill bit. All right, perfect. As you can see, it's coming out of the hole that I just drilled now. So now I know it's gonna line up where I need it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and enlarge that hole to the right size, because the back of the actual button is a rather large hole, as you can see here. So, got my step-up drill bits. I'm gonna use probably this one. Looks about right size. I'm gonna probably bring it all the way up to 5/8 and then maybe up to 11/16, depending on how big this is. But always drill smaller than you think it's gonna be, test fit, and then go up the next level. All right, so make sure you go slow and straight. All right, so let's just pull that out for a second. Check my splicing. So yeah, it's definitely too small, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so actually I'm gonna have to go all the way up to 3/4 on here for this to fit. Great, then I'm gonna have to come in from the back side to clean it up. Perfect, 3/4 inch hole. All right, so now I'm going to push this in more so that it's probably going to be flush with the plastic here, and see if that's the right level for the button. So the first thing we're going to do is grab the deep socket again, which I misplaced. Also, there's apparently someone getting pulled over by the police out front of my driveway here, so that's interesting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of loosen this here, and then come around, hold the nut in place on the back with my finger, and then rotate this in and keep rotating. All right, and then come back in and then hand tighten this bolt. All right, so that's we'll start with that. So it's the ball is just poking out from the plastic here. All right, so while doing the test fitting, it seems that the angle of the bumper, the outer edge, makes this piece go in like at this angle instead of straight in, and because of that, it's hitting the plastic down here, and is preventing it from going in all the way. So what I've just done is I've just taken a Dremel, and I've sanded down the plastic just down here. I'm gonna do a little bit, bring it down a little bit more, give myself some more clearance, but you only need to do like the bottom, this bottom edge right here. All right, so I'm gonna finish sanding it down, and then I'll do another test fit. All right, so I got it installed. It's not working out exactly the way I want it to. I mean, it's gonna work, but the problem is that right here, which is actually the best place to install the button, is angled so much that it's very difficult to get this lined up over the pin and then pushed on. I actually had to line it up and bang on the bumper down here just to kind of flex it in so it would go straight. That also means that just pushing the button to pop it out is not going to work, but it does fix that problem, and now I have a hole there. I don't know how some of the other people that installed it here got around that issue. I don't know if they used a larger Quik-Latch than the 1-inch one that I have here, but if you want to take it off, the best thing to do is to pop the bumper off on the back, pull it away, and then I'm just going to take a socket that's the same size as the button and just kind of tap it in there until it goes in, and out it comes. Great. So again, I'm going to show you when you like I said earlier, getting it in, you have to line it up here and then smack it. But it does go in, it does stay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side just to finish up, and then we'll call it a day. The driver's side is coming along much faster since I know exactly what to do. So the first thing I did was I dremeled out this area here. Then I popped the headlight out. I didn't actually pull it all the way off. I just pulled it out enough so I can get the metal threaded piece off of it. And then I didn't have to disconnect any harnesses. And then I just popped it right back into place. I installed this and I set it so that there's about 6 to 7 threads exposed on the top. So this will be at the proper height. And then I've already placed the bumper on, pressed it in to make the indentation. So now I'm just going to drill out my hole here, test fit, drill it out until it's the right size, and then install the last Quik-Latch. There's the finished install. So you can kind of see a minor gap right here because the button wants to be straight, but the bumper is angled so much here. Keep in mind that will happen, but honestly, there's no better place to mount the button than right here. If you can't mount it any higher, really. You can't even mount it any lower because the angle's sharper. And if you mount it like anywhere else, it's not going to give the support you need to get rid of the gap right here. So keep in mind this is going to happen when you install it. I think it still looks good. It definitely looks a lot better than using those damn rubber bands I see on cars. So, but here it is from a distance, and if we go to the other side where I had the gap, you'll see that it is definitely gone. All right, so if you haven't done so already, before you start putting all the bolts back in, make sure you reconnect your daytime running light harness, and if you have fog lights, reconnect those. Then go around the car, make sure all the black plastic is in the right place. This should all be tucked behind the bumper here. This black plastic clip will probably be sitting like this. You'll just pop it right over top like that. We get under the car. So this black piece will be under the bumper. I'll have to push this back in place. This is my harness for my LED lights underneath the bumper there. But all of this plastic, though, should be tucked above the bumper, except for where there's bolts. That should be under the bumper, because there's little flaps there. So I'm going to go ahead and start reinstalling all of the clips and bolts. I'm going to start with the top part here. Then I'm going to move to doing this one here and this, and then I'm going to go underneath the car, do the 2 ends, and then the last 6 that hold the shield underneath to the bumper. So once you're done reinstalling all of those bolts, then you will be finished, and it'll look just like this. Thanks for watching.